Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I've got a piece of living history here. This is the Klein TripSaver, made in USA, part number 1016. It is a multi-tool for electricians and maintenance workers that's relatively unchanged since it was first introduced in the late 1980s, maybe early 90s. It's a unique take on the multi-tool that used to compete with the early Leathermans. Back in the day when we did things a little bit differently. Yes, it is solid metal, so there are some warnings about live circuits. Be a little careful there, but making a 1000-volt rated multi-tool might be a bit of a challenge. Probably wondering, what is this? Well, that is first of all a bit holder, and as you can see, there is a 1/4-inch hex port on it, and in the pouch that it comes with, which has this kind of Klein branded leather or leatherette patch, there is a sub pouch underneath, and that contains a small bit set, 5 pieces, standard complement, and this fits into the bit holder held in with a neodymium magnet. And my guess is that that's an update at some point, because neodymium was pretty rare as a magnet, available commercial magnet use back then. I mean, it was used in hard drives for PCs and things like that, but it was pretty pricey. But anyway, this unique handle is solid. I mean, it's a solid chunk of metal. A hammer is not one of the listed features of this. However, everyone and their dog, maybe some cats, would actually use that as a hammer, because that is exactly what it feels like, but I'm not saying you should. Instead, this unique shape here is actually the locking mechanism for the blades. The blades inside are a utilitarian, more like what an electrician might need out in the field compared to an outdoorsman with their Leatherman. And they have these notches in them. Then those notches then fit with this L handle, and it locks in, and that is how the blades are held in place. Kind of interesting. So the harder you hold onto the handle, the stronger the locking mechanism. Of course, it can also, you can see it would flip up if you release tension on it. Very clip pointish 1990s Buck-esque blade on it. Other blades inside here that make this kind of fun. How about this? This is a combination wire stripper from 10 to 18 gauge. It is a chisel, it is a pry bar, it is a file with a couple of different styles. Look at that. And of course, you can use this for all sorts of other things if you need to. Scoring things, bending things. Move it out of the way without cutting myself. This here is like a hacksaw blade. You can do wood cutting, plastic cutting, soft materials. It is fairly thin and flexible. This is a serrated blade, kind of in a sheep's foot design. Again, like a saw as well, but for maybe other materials. And then lastly is this all very thick profile, also behaves as a reamer. So not your standard Leatherman blade set, with pry bar and file and wire stripper like that, saws. This is a fairly expensive tool. It sells in the 70s to 80s. If you go on Home Depot, it's going to be in mid-80s, $80 for something like this. Still around, relatively unchanged. I'm not sure what the revisions are over the years. It looks like a pressed steel or bent steel frame. That's how we used to do things. And then this looks forged. This entire piece here is one giant chunk of metal. So this wasn't trying to cut weight. If you compare it to other multi-tools, well, first, Klein has got another one right here. This Klein multi-tool. This is like a hybrid plier that folds with complement of a few different blades there. Reminds me of the Klein hybrid plier, which I love these things. They're great. Or maybe more specific might be the Klein with the Klein curve. since this also seems to have an asymmetrical handle, so it curves a little bit. It is completely different than what we expect by our modern standards. Here's a Leatherman Wave. This has been around for a long time, but much more refined, much more expensive at the time, but probably pretty similar in cost now, if you could find an old Wave. The nose on these was definitely designed for other things, more precision work, fishing, stuff like that, whereas this is definitely targeting the trades. And the whole concept behind that TripSaver was you would have your standard complement of tools, your lineman plier, maybe your slip joint plier, your screwdrivers, your knife, utility knife maybe. But what if you don't have one of those with you, or you need to maybe cut out a little bit larger space in drywall, to fit an electrical box, or shave some large sheathing off of something, or ream out a piece of conduit that then you can grab and, tighten up, twist, whatever you need to do, file things down, bend stuff. So it is designed differently. It's not what you pull out of your pocket out in the outdoors. It's definitely a maintenance worker's backup tool. But given how old it is, you're talking 30 to potentially 40 years, it's kind of a neat piece of living history that they still have it. You can still order it or still buy it. I haven't seen one on the shelf like at Home Depot, but it's on their website. Kind of a unique tool. I thought I'd bring that to your attention. And if you are an aficionado of such things, multi-tools, I kind of am, it's a piece of living history, literally. This is how things used to be, and in this case, how they still are. And with that, Doc out.